Good morning, everyone. Oh, I got a frog in my throat. This is Jennifer Sanchez. We are live. I see we're up and Adam this morning with La Mera Mera saying good morning. You know La Mera Mera, right, Ruby? You met
I
her.
can, yes. She had a really good first impression with me when I met her.
She always does. She always does. So for those that are watching or you're watching the replay, my name is Jennifer Sanchez. I'm the founder of the Women's Institute of Self-Development and Efficacy, and we call it WISE for short. So this is a show where we like to highlight amazing women from our community and just amazing women in general and have a great conversation over a cup of coffee. And these conversations are supposed to inspire you, conversation and motivation. I don't even remember what my little slogan is right now. I'm like super Monday morning, like now I'll be
End of
like,
the year, yes.
my what they say, ADHD is kicking in. I'm gonna start
Yeah.
saying that. No, I'm just joking. Um, so that's who I am. Ruby, can you introduce yourself to the viewers?
Yes, my name is Ruby Greenberg. I am a Latina entrepreneur, owner of Massage Evolved, which I'm very proud to say has won a few awards in the Chicago community for being one of the top spas in Chicago, and as well for having the best massage therapists.
Nice.
I recently opened up Beauty Evolved, where I offer skincare and beauty related services. And I also love to, you know, inspire and motivate people to live their best life and overcome any challenges and obstacles by helping them align with their vision and their purpose.
Beautiful. I love it. And I love we had a spa event, right? We had
Yes.
our event there with our if you're not part of the membership community, you weren't really aware, but I took a group of ladies from our membership community and we had a ball at your location. So it was beautiful, by the way, you guys. You guys definitely should if you guys are looking for a facial or a massage, reach out to Ruby because it's a great location. You're across the street from Merchandise Mart, right?
From the French market.
Oh, the French. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
French
yeah.
market. Mhm.
Yeah. So, I don't even remember where my city coordinates what they are this morning. Um, so awesome. And so let's go into our section of coffee time. Part of this show is we like to just focus on what we're drinking this morning. So, Ruby, share with us what are you drinking, and how you drink your coffee or tea.
Well, when I was making my coffee, uh, um, so I love coffee. I'm a coffee addict. But this morning, I made myself an espresso cappuccino.
Oh,
So I'm
nice.
drinking that, and I like to um, use one of my favorite sweeteners is silk almond sweetener, well, almond milk sweetener, and it's in the flavor caramel. I love drinking like caramel stuff during the actually year round. I just love caramel. It's delicious.
Oh, nice. Caramel. So you're the caramel apple, caramel candy, caramel sundaes.
You
That's
know
you?
what? No, only in creamer. I
Oh.
actually no. I love the chocolate with like caramel in the middle,
Mhm.
like caramel filling. That's delicious. Yeah. So.
Nice, nice.
Mhm,
Mer- Esmeralda, the way she says comments sometimes.
mhm.
I'm dry, still not drinking anything. She's sober. Uh,
Yeah.
so that's awesome. And is there any specific brand that you like of coffee or just
Well, this is the Nespresso one.
okay?
I have the Nespresso machine, which goes on sale for anybody looking to buy. It's not sponsored or anything. I wish I was getting paid for this. No, but I love it. Like it has stopped me from overspending at Starbucks. Definitely.
Yeah, I still go to Starbucks though. Like my daughter yesterday was like, "Mom, we go like 3 times a week." I was like, "You're right. Like we do go a lot."
Yeah. My going to Starbucks, it's like a me and my mom kind of thing. So whenever I'm hanging out with her and I take her out of the house and we're going shopping, like Starbucks before going to Target. I mean, there's a Starbucks at Target, so that makes it so much easier to, get Starbucks. So that's always our
Yeah.
thing. Hmm.
Yeah, that's like why me and my daughter do it. It's like me and my daughter thing. So yeah,
Right? Exactly.
exactly. Esmeralda agrees. She says, I love caramel creamer too. I just drink, and then, for those ladies that have been watching, they know I drink my coffee black. For the most part, I try not to do creamers, more for the health benefits, right? But, and I like to experiment with just different things. I use the pods. I'm a pod kind of gal. I don't have time, and shame on me. I have a coffee grinder now, and I could actually grind my beans, and I
Yeah.
still haven't done it. So shame.
It's okay.
Oh, I
I,
want I want to go ahead.
I'm all about convenience too. We're
Mm,
busy women with kids, so it's okay for us
yeah.
to cut corners here and there.
Yeah, it makes life easier, but I need to try to attempt to use the grinder that I purchased. Actually, my husband purchased, but it is okay.
Yeah.
um, Awesome. So if anyone else is watching, share what you're drinking. If you're watching the replay, feel free to put it in the chat. I know La Mera says she's not drinking anything this morning. So let's start the conversation with just getting to know Ruby more. Like, how did you even get into entrepreneurship? Like, what even start this journey? Because we are a special type of breed.
Yes. I would say that maybe it's just in my genetics. My parents come from Mexico, and in Mexico, at least where my parents are from, it's a small town. So you really have to look for ways to make money for yourself. And my family are farmers, so they have the entrepreneurial mindset going into farming, which is something I never really associated. Like farmers, people who farm, they're in they have crops. They're entrepreneurs. And I never really thought about it that way. But then my mom, when she lived in Mexico, she was there until she was like, I believe, 29 years old, and then she came to the United States. She had a clothing boutique in Mexico. So I feel like maybe it's just in my genes, like I said, because ever since I can remember, I would always look for ways as a child, like maybe 6 years old, 5 years old, to make money, whether
Mhm.
it be like helping clean, wash the dishes, like anything I can do to um, earn some money. Uh, Probably just to buy candy at that point, because I mean, what is a 6 year old gonna, need money for?
Yeah.
But yes, I think that's, coming from a family of
That's
entrepreneurs.
That's, let me show this. You love this comment, Esmeralda. La Mera said, I'm super Mexican with Nescafe. So,
Yeah,
you
I
know,
think we all have a Nescafe
a
jar in
container.
our house.
Yeah, I think I have one too, actually, because for like family gatherings and stuff, it's like,
Exactly.
oh, let me put Nescafe. Let me put some of this in the hot water.
Yes.
Um, I love that you said that, and because I'm the same way, right? I was hustling since I was like in kindergarten. Like, you, it sounds funny. It's like, what do we need the money for, right? But it was encouraged because I remember my mom made me scrunchies, like those big 90s scrunchies. She would
Hmm.
make them. She'd be like, go sell them for 50 cents. I'm like, okay, whatever. Para mi chicle. Okay, let me go sell it, right? But yeah, same thing. My family is farmers. My dad, I think they're big on the mezcal.
Ooh.
Um, we do the whole. My dad loves those agave plants or
Yeah.
whatever they're called, and he just actually purchased some more. Just he's over here, but he has family over there, so he's taking care of some stuff out there. And I think we even do bees. Okay, don't ask me about the bees. I just know my dad brings a whole bunch of things of jars from
Yeah.
the farm.
Honey is amazing.
It is, and so yeah, I could see where you're coming from in the sense of like, yeah, farmers, our family does this. My mom was known as the in our town. My mom's family was known as the chivos, I think, because they always made or the birria people. Like that
Does
was
she
what
still
we were
make it?
known
Is
for.
she here? Can I order some from Christmas?
I just learned the recipe this summer and I was like, okay, I gotta get this because I need to know the family recipe.
Yes.
So I just learned it. But yeah, we were my grandma would sell birria in the plaza and my aunts would help her. So now that I think about it, you're right. It's in our blood. I think naturally it just comes if you have a family of entrepreneurs. It's just like, why not? Right?
Yeah. Hmm.
It only makes sense. But for others, they might be like, they need the stability, the 9 to 5, the consistent check. Well, entrepreneurship ain't about that life. What can you say about that, Ruby?
Yeah. So, I think that so many people want to become entrepreneurs. Like it's just, they see it maybe on Instagram, on social media. Oh my God, I work for myself. I'm always traveling. I'm always doing this and I'm doing that. And I have so much money. And like, that's, what we think about when we think about like a business owner, right? Like this person. But the truth is that is eventually after years and years and years, yes, you will get there, and but it's not like that. It's like people don't see when you're putting in the hard work. People don't see, they see me, they're like, oh, Ruby owns like a spa, that's so cool, like, so, zen. I'm like, they don't see me like scrubbing the toilets and washing the sheets and mopping the floor, because I'm not just waiting for somebody to do that. I have to make sure it's done, and if it's not done, then I have to do it myself, putting in a lot of work even after coming home from work. Like it's never ending. When you're an entrepreneur, you're working 24/7. Okay, maybe not 24/7, but like you need to
Pretty
sleep.
much all day. Yeah,
I'm
18.
yeah. But even when I'm laying in bed, I'm thinking to myself, okay, tomorrow I'm gonna do this and I need to do that, and like your mind is always running.
Yeah,
Um,
kudos to you.
but it's rewarding. At least for me, it's rewarding. Um, it just takes up a life of its own, um, which is pretty amazing to see other people who are also invested in your business. And it's you have that dynamic of I'm helping you and you're helping me, and it's like it always has to be a fair exchange, because if it's not, then you know it's not going to work, or you'll have a lot of trouble getting it to work, and have more challenges. But for me, because I am also a massage therapist and I've been uh, employed by a company before, and I've worked for other companies, I know what it's like what I don't like, and I do what I
Mm,
do. I know what I do like, so I treat everybody, the way I want to be treated, like the golden rule, right? It really does apply to everything in your life.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I love it. And then also too, I'm like yanking my hair out many times, but just making sure that the reason why you're doing what you're doing is big enough. Um, and that is definitely what keeps me, what keeps me going.
Yeah. So let me share this comment. Your place is beautiful and so warm and welcoming. I agree.
Oh,
It's
thanks.
beautiful. It's a beautiful space and it's a beautiful location, right? So I can only imagine like how hard you worked, right? Like to be where you're at. So that's why I'm saying kudos to you for doing what you're doing because we need more Latina go-getters out there doing it and showing people that hey, I could do this. I could be in this area. I could have this place. I could do this, right? We don't see that enough in our communities.
Yeah.
Um, and which we met each other through today's Inspired Latina, which is the whole purpose, right? Like,
Yes, exactly.
right?
Exactly.
But I'm so in line with what you said about supporting one another because I reached out to you and like, because I see you active on social media and I reached out to you because I needed a spa location for my community to get together. And I know I was like, let me just reach out to her. We're like book sisters,
Hmm.
she seems cool. Like I don't think we ever had a conversation prior to me reaching out
Yeah.
to you, right?
No, that's one of the things that I love about social media, is that it does connect you with a lot of people that, you wouldn't have bumped into in real life. I mean, this is real life, but, just out and about,
Yeah, right. Like
which is
no
great.
networking events. We don't. Well, I think we don't really go to networking events. Like it's hard, right? It's especially right now during COVID.
Yeah.
Well, that's so. Tell us more about your story, Ruby. So you think entrepreneurship is the part of your life. So how did you? When did you open up your practice, or I don't know, is it called a practice or masseuse?
Yes. So I started on my own in 2011. So I was already, looking to work for myself then. I graduated in 2008 from massage therapy school. So I had been working for other spas for 3 years. And finally, I'm like, you know what? I want to create a space where people can feel relaxed and, that it's beautiful. That just gives off those warm Zen vibes. But also, we receive a really good therapeutic massage. Um, and so I started looking for just for a room to rent actually. And then my realtor was like, well, why don't you get like a bigger space instead? And then you can like sublease it to other therapists. And I'm sure he was, I mean, he's business minded too. All realtors are also, business minded people. Um,
Mhm.
and I'm like, wow, I didn't think of that, but that's a great point. So I had to risk paying more rent out of my comfort zone because I knew that, the rewards would, you know, compensate for that. And yeah, that's how I started actually. Just I started from a place that was maybe like 800 square feet with two other massage therapy rooms. Fast forward, 10 years. Well, in 2014, I opened up Massage Evolved. Um, so from 2011 to 2014, I was like preparing myself to, expand. And now we have, Massage Evolved we have 7 treatment rooms, and Beauty Evolved that has 4 treatment rooms. And, it's taken years, and a lot of hard work and, challenges and obstacles. But I feel that, you know, whenever you want to accomplish anything, you have to keep going and not stop or give up the first time you fail, or that bump into a roadblock, it's just learn to, okay, I can't go straight anymore. I have to make a right now or a left, and just keep
Mm.
going. It's you're gonna succeed if you just don't give up. Like really, that for me, that's as if you can grasp that, um, and obviously also you have to want it really badly in your heart. It's not something that I can just be like, you know what, today I'm gonna sell candles. If I'm not really invested wholeheartedly in it, then I'm gonna, want to give up right away and not try hard enough.
Yeah, there has to be a why, right? A deep rooted to why we do what we do, because you're right. Entrepreneurship, being your own boss can be shaky. Anything can throw your game off, right?
Yeah.
And you've been in business for 10 years, so I can only imagine how many things have happened throughout the 10 years, right? That
Yeah.
that could have ended it all, right? So, um, let's go into our next conversation, because I think you're an inspiration. Um, and I've been reading, and you guys can check out her website, and read more about her as well, rubyevolved.com, and then follow her on Massage Evolved. Just wanted to put that shout out, because you put your story on your website and how you help women. And I think right now it's the holidays, and I wanted you to speak a little bit more about your story, in the sense of, the grief, and how you've overcame this thing that could have harmed your family, your business. I mean, I'm sure you're still grieving, right? um
Yeah. So in 2016, just a couple years after I started my business, I was married, and my husband suddenly passed away, um, and so that shook my world and turned it upside down. I also have two children who are now 7 and 9 years old, so I'm also a mother, and it. I mean, it's something that you can't really explain. There's no words to really explain how you feel when something like that happens, when you lose a close loved one. And I know right now, after the pandemic, or I mean, we're still, I guess, we're still in the pandemic, how many people have lost, their loved ones. And I think death is something that we're not really always aware of or thinking about. But
mhm.
ever since my husband passed away, I think about death every day, and not like in a creepy or like, um,
Yeah.
whatever way. It's more in a I'm alive today. Thank you, God, for waking me up this morning, and my mission isn't over yet, and I still have time left to do what I need to do now that I'm still alive. And I I have a um, the Stoics call. I like to read about Stoicism. They have it's called a Memento Mori, which it's a symbol that they carry with them, that reminds them that of their mortality and death.
Mhm.
So I have like a skull, a black skull, a beautiful skull, on my dresser, and each morning when I wake up, like that's something that I see, and I'm reminded, I'm alive, and I want to go out there and be the best person that I can be. And it's something that we get so caught up sometimes in life, and we forget, like we forget how fragile life is, how we're not guaranteed tomorrow, and having that awareness really helps me maximize, my day, and puts things into perspective more than anything. Um, I I try my hardest not to get upset or let things get to me, and and it's okay to feel, especially like right now. The holidays are rolling around, and many of us get triggered by not having our loved ones around anymore. And I think that it's definitely okay, to give ourselves permission to feel whatever it is we're feeling, because many times we may try to and this was me before. Um, I would try to just hold everything in and not let it out, but that isn't really healthy, really, for us, because all those emotions that are supercharged are trapped inside of us, and it's energy that needs to be released.
Mm,
Um, so it's okay, to cry, and it's okay, to if you see somebody else crying, um, just give them a hug and tell them everything's gonna be okay. Don't tell them, don't cry. It's okay. Let them cry, allow them to cry. Crying is actually very healing, and I don't think we see it that way. We see that crying is something that is bad and that we shouldn't, be that vulnerable in front of anybody, or, that it's not good for us to cry. But, it's good to release, our tears and the emotions that we have. And so,
mm,
for anybody, right now who has lost a loved one and are feeling, you know, the loss of them, I would say, turn that grief into love, because I read somewhere, and this is so beautiful, that grief is all the love that you have inside that wants to be released.
mm,
So, transforming that feeling of grief into love and pouring that love into your family members, the people that you have around you for these holidays, and, your friends, your pets, whoever you have around that you can love on, then,
mm.
you can release that grief. And also, like I said, cry. It's good for you. You feel much better afterwards. And just give yourself permission to feel everything that you want to feel, and let it pass. Because
Wow.
when we hold on to it, then it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger until we finally explode. Because it has to go somewhere, right? So it's gonna have to be released at one point. So just turning it into love and loving on everybody around you, and I think that's one of the most beautiful things to be able to do during the holidays.
Yeah. Let me show these comments. I love what you said, and we're gonna keep talking about that. So, Cindy said, good morning, beautiful ladies. Good morning, Cindy. We have Lola. She said, yes, my mom passed last year, and I think about the things that I want to do before I pass. I never really thought about that, but my mom said all those years she worried about things and how she should have enjoyed more.
Yeah.
And she also wrote, I do not know how to show people my emotions, especially my 11-year-old daughter. I feel she needs to see me strong. Do you have any thoughts on that, Ruby?
Well, what does strength mean? I think strength, to me, it means to not be afraid to show, how we feel about someone. That's showing strength, because many times, like I said, we hold things back because we're like, oh, I don't know how they're going to take it or perceive it, or, I don't, I don't want to make them feel awkward or weird, or for whatever reason, we don't show our, emotions and communicate with people. But ever since, my husband passed away, I'm just like, okay, I'm not going to hold back anymore, because honestly, one of the things that gives me the strength and is to live my life not just for me, but live the life that he wasn't able to continue to live. So I'm not just living it for myself, but I have
Mm,
um, an extra reason, to live it for him. And, I also, like I said, I have my two sons, and I want them to know that I'm here for them and that I love them. And I'm always hugging them and kissing them and telling them that I love them. Like, you can't over spoil anybody. I don't, I know I've heard that before, but you can't. Like, no one has ever, you know, died of having too much love. It's not possible.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I love that. And we do want to show love and affection and care and to our children. So, I mean, and why not give them as much as you can, right? That we can give. La Mera said, indeed, agree. Also, there's no limit for grief. We all grieve
Yeah.
different.
Hmm.
Yeah, and I'm sure like grieving, I like what you said. I've read a similar meme, like grief is just your emotion of how much you love the person, right? It's just that's if you didn't love the person, you wouldn't grieve, right? Like
Yes.
that's why you grieve and feel the way that you feel. So more power to you, and I pray that you have more strength for the journey ahead of us, because yeah, it is. I love that you said life is fragile. Life is fragile, right? Um, I I think yesterday, I'm gonna be honest, I think I almost had a near death experience yesterday.
Oh my
Um,
goodness.
yeah, like I thought to myself, like, oh my God, I could have just died right now. Like, and it was so bizarre because my head's in the clouds. Sometimes I'm thinking of something, my mind is in space, I'm not paying attention of my surroundings. My husband's been on me about this. He's like, you need to pay attention to your surroundings. You need to be observant. Stop, get your head out the clouds. Because I'm thinking of everything that we're supposed to do, right? I don't know if you ever do this, Ruby, but you're thinking of laundry, business, kids. I gotta do this. And then your mind's just so focused on everything else. You're not in your space. You're not being mindful at that moment, right?
Yes.
So I put my kids in the car. We just finished church service, and I'm putting them in the car, and I'm on the church now that I go to is on a big street, very busy street as well. So when I'm coming around, I'm about to go in. I literally all I heard the bus beep, but I felt the bus like an inch away from my head, like I felt the breeze of the bus just hit my back. Like if I would have leaned back, like I would have hit it. And all I know, I was like, oh, and I went forward and I was like, oh my God, I could have just gotten hit by the bus. One, why the heck is the bus so close to the damn cars? Because I'm a big girl. So, like, I mean, why are you so close to the car like that to begin with? But I just went in the car and I just like I almost got hit by a bus, and my 14-year-old's cracking up, not realizing like she just was like, ha ha mom, that's funny. No, I'm like, no, I really just think I almost got hit by a bus. Like I could have died right now, right?
Yeah.
Um but even that situation was really like frightening, because then I got home and I said, oh, I'm still thinking like I almost got hit by a bus, and
Yeah.
that's just how fragile life is. That quickly, it could have just been like that.
Yeah. And I mean, I it reminded me of that expression, like you never know when you're gonna get hit by a bus, right? Like
Mm,
perfect example. Um,
wow. So,
yeah.
you know, I think this is just a good reminder. This interview with you, Ruby, is just a good reminder for all of us that are watching to seize the moment. Don't limit ourselves. I think sometimes we hold ourselves back, you know. Um, they say, and maybe you've heard of the expression, where the most dreams at, on earth. I don't know if you've ever heard of like where are the most dreams at? And people are like, where? And then they're like, the graveyard. That's where the most dreams are at. Because so many people have passed on and didn't pursue their dreams. That's where most dreams are at. So I don't know if you have any thoughts on that. Just kind of
Yeah,
conversation.
as you're saying that, as you were saying that, I like pictured myself in my deathbed and think to myself, what would be something that I would regret, if I were to be laying in my deathbed tomorrow or today? And it would probably be not being able to go after my dreams. Like if I still had so many dreams inside of me that I didn't get to do, then that would be those things that I would be regretting, you
Yeah,
know? Um, so definitely, do what you want to do. Why not?
yeah,
I see a lot of people like friends and family who are like working at places that they are so miserable in. Like, why are we doing that to ourselves? Like, no, again, I know the stability part, that you don't know where you're gonna, you can't just quit your job, but I think it hurts us. Um, it hurts our health, having to, get up and go to work every day somewhere you don't like, or even if you're in a relationship that you're not supposed to be in, Um, why waste our time investing in that relationship that, we know is not going to give us what we want, what we deserve?
Mm.
So just, do what you want to do and don't feel guilty about it. I know many times we feel, the guilt of having to do something that we don't want to do, but it's it's beautiful when we do things, from our heart, and it just feels
Yeah.
so good. And I think it's one of the one of like the keys to just living a long, happy life, because why would we want to keep living a life that is miserable? And so just definitely, i I would want to encourage anybody to, you know follow what's in their heart and not be scared, and to remember that, life is fragile and that we only have one life, and it makes sense to want to pursue our dreams and go after them, and not to give up when it starts to get hard, but to really, push ourselves and challenge ourselves to overcome the obstacles that, and I have a relationship with God. I believe, in a higher power, and I am always in communication and, asking for what I want and praying for the things that, I want to happen as well. And um, that definitely is, a big force behind me accomplishing the things that I want to accomplish. Hmm.
Yeah. Let me show these comments because I think they're important. Lola said, when I was in a relationship I knew was bad for me, I felt I needed to try because of fear of failure. I had already felt I failed because I was divorced, right?
Hmm.
So it sounds like Lola was like trying, and when it comes to divorce, it almost seems my last guest last week said, the best decision you can make is that's a compassionate decision for you and the other person. And I'm not saying that divorce is easy, not by a long shot, right? But give yourself compassion, right, for the decision that was best for the couple and the family, right? Um, your inner beauty matches your outer beauty, Ruby. I agree. What a way to turn passion into your dream. Beautiful. Lamed, I agree. And then Sonia said, good morning, lovely ladies. I want to add, because of the industry you're in, Ruby, it almost seems like if you don't care for yourself, right? We're going to talk about self care. You're big on self care, obviously. You're a massage therapist. You have a whole spa, facials. You're big on that, right? If we don't care for ourselves, we can even cause premature death. I almost feel like, right? Like you said, being in a job that you hate, being in a relationship that doesn't make you happy, right? Like I don't know if you want to talk a little bit more about the self care side of things,
Yeah.
right? Of how to care for ourselves right now and even through during the holidays.
For me, self care really means that I'm giving myself the time, um, for myself, and sometimes when, we're a mother and a business owner, we have a lot of responsibilities and a lot of things to do, but it's vital to carve out time, for ourselves. So it's like sometimes, I that means like, okay, I'm gonna go get my nails done, I'm gonna go get a massage, get a facial, go shopping, or go to yoga, hang out with my best friend or something like that,
Go to therapy. That's
go to
right.
therapy. Yeah. Yeah, of course, for sure, and I think therapy is great because you get to talk to somebody that, and it's an opportunity for you to open up about your feelings, and have somebody help you through your feelings and sort out, whatever's in your head that you can't sort out. I think that's, wonderful.
Yeah.
Um, but for sure, it's, for me, what I do is I wake up, an hour earlier than I have to. And in the morning, it's, my time to just, everything's quiet. My kids are still sleeping. I don't have to answer any calls for work or anything like that. So I just, envision what I want my day to feel like and to be like, and you know, drink my coffee, plan out, you know, my goals for the day, and you know, just stretch, because I am, you know, active. I need to make sure that I'm stretching. Um, I'll be lying to you if I said I ride my Peloton in the morning, because I started riding it in the like evening. But you know, if going to the gym is something that you know you is therapy for you, I know it is for many people. Many of my friends go to the gym for therapy, actually. Um, you know, it's carving out that time, but you have to make it. You have to make that time for yourself, because if you don't, then 100% is going to be taken away from you, and you're going to be investing that time into doing other things for other people. And but it's super super important, because for me it's like I'm refueling, you know, I'm refueling for the day. um, and I'm making sure I'm in my body, and like my body feels like nice and loose. And um, that's why it's stretching for me in the morning. And I don't say it's yoga, because I don't really go to yoga, or I've been to yoga a few times in my life, and you probably
Yoga's
like,
painful.
yeah.
I'm like, I'm not, I'll stretch. I'm not, I don't know about
I
yoga.
like to do it on my own. That's the thing, you know. Like I don't want to go into a class full of people to stretch. It's like, I can do this at my house. Thanks, you know. So that's why I do it personally. But I know people love the environment, and you know,
Yeah,
it's do whatever feels right for you.
absolutely.
Hmm.
Well, I love what you said, and I guess if you could share, I wear yoga pants. Okay, let me show these comments
Me
because I
too.
see,
I
I
wear your
see.
pants every day.
Sonia said, "Good morning, lovely ladies. Good morning, Sonia. We have La Mera. As women, we need to stop calling self-care being selfish. Agree, and stop apologizing for taking time for ourselves.
Yes, for
Totally
sure.
agree. And I wear yoga pants, so she put.
Me too. Yeah.
I love you. Yeah, we all. I think we all wear. It's so comfortable. Like, why would we wear something else, right?
I don't think I've worn jeans, honestly, in forever.
Jeans are so, yeah, jeans, yeah, love. Yeah, I'm there with you guys. I think, Ruby, this is why we also connect because I'm a big advocate for waking up early. Like, even sometimes I can't make it. I'm big on like waking up early, having quiet time. I mean, we're even going to read The Morning Miracle this month. I don't know if you've ever read The Morning Miracle. Have you read
No,
it?
sounds
We,
nice.
yeah, so for the month of December, we're reading that book, and you can join our book club, Ruby, and anyone else watching. I'm opening it up for everyone that's, just that wants to join. And you get the book, read it, and at the end of the month, the last Tuesday of the month, we're going to get together and just talk over it. But I'm big on waking up early. Like, when I had my baby, she's 2 now, but I needed to be up like 5 in the morning because if not, I would have never gotten anything done, especially when you have like little ones. It's hard,
Mm-hmm.
totally. So,
Yeah.
um, as we wrap up, I just want to ask this question for the viewers. Is there one thing, for those that are grieving, because people can grieve losses, not only deaths, but grief the loss of a job, a relationship, a friendship, right? You grieve a lot of different things. And
Oh
that
yeah.
was the theme of our retreat this past summer was just going through grief, right? Um, what was one thing that you did for yourself that helped you get through the holidays? So if anyone's grieving right now, they can use whatever tool you use to help them.
Um, what is one thing that um, I would say maybe it's not a tool. I mean, I guess it could be considered a tool, but just having that, checking in with, you know, with yourself to so checking in I will check in with myself and just do like, hey Ruby, how are you? You know? Because it's important to ask us that ourselves. You know, it's so important because we can go by living life like day to day and then feeling, you know, all these feelings that we're not even sure what they are, but they're just, it feels heavy, you know, and it keeps getting heavier and heavier. So just taking the time to ask ourselves, how are you today? How are you feeling? What can I do for you today that is going to make you
Mm,
feel better, that is going to, you know, take the pressure off and take the weight off your shoulders. What is it that I can do for you? And it sounds like crazy talk, but it's not. Like
No,
I talk to myself like that in a third person, and it really helps me like get out of my head, get out of my head and into my heart and into my body, and be aware of what's going on in my heart and my mind, and taking the necessary steps afterwards to feel more grounded, feel more balanced, and feel like I can be present now and um, go on with my day.
nice, nice. That's great. So I love what you shared, and I see Esmeralda say I go from sleep black yoga pants to my daytime black yoga pants. Uh, and she said nature was my
Yeah.
therapy, and it
Mm.
saved her. So, good stuff. Anything that you want to promote, Ruby, before we sign off, for the followers and the viewers?
Sure, definitely. If you're looking for a place to relax, to carve out that me time for yourself, I'll be more than happy to have you at my spa. And our website is massageevolved.com. We have facials, massage. I'm also an energy healer, so I do Reiki, massage, Reiki. Well, I do Reiki and massage, um, but I do energy healing as well.
Nice. So there we go. Massageevolve.com. Check them out.
Oh, sorry.
And
With a D at the end, so it's massage evolved.
massaged.
Yes.
Okay, evolved.
Mhm.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
There we go. So there we go. I apologize, ladies. There we go. Massage evolved. So check out massageevolved.com. Reach out to Ruby. I mean, I tagged her on this. You can find her. She's active on social media platforms. Mary said that sounds good. And I loved your space. It was so welcoming. So it was definitely very there was a lot of feminine energy there, right? Like you definitely have that there, because when we got there, it was just cute. It was the chandeliers, it just had that vibe, so it was really nice. So ladies, check her out. And then of course, for those that know about us and our community, you guys know, I mentioned it earlier, we have a book club, free, open to the community. We read the book together, and then we get together at the end of the month and have a conversation around the book. So I welcome you, Ruby, if you want to join us, since you'd like to get up early. But if you have any questions, just email us at womenselfdevelopment@gmail.com. We also have our website, womenselfdevelopment.org. And of course, make sure you follow us on our social media platforms, Women Self Development. So thank you so much, Ruby, for being on our show. It
Mhm.
was a lot of fun, a lot of inspiration from this show. Absolutely. So thank you again for giving us a little bit of your morning.
Thank you guys for tuning in, and I'm so happy to have been able to share my morning with you, beautiful ladies, and have a blessed holidays. And don't remember to take care of you because you're the most important person in your life.
Amen. Yay. Love that. God bless you. Talk to you guys soon.